The following interview is being conducted as part of the Price of Freedom Oral History Series sponsored by the Madison County Military Heritage Commission to inform the public of the sacrifices made by those in our community on battlefields around the world. We wish to thank the Huntsville School System and the ETV Broadcast Center for their help in presenting this military heritage program. Hello everyone, I'm Tom Kennemer. Welcome to our program. Today we'll be talking with U.S. Navy and U.S. Army combat veteran Henry Locklear. Mr. Locklear is a veteran of 3 wars, World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. During World War II, he served with the U.S. Navy Underwater Demolition Team during the Battle for Iwo Jima. He is the recipient of the Silver Star and Bronze Star medals for his actions during combat. Mr. Locklear is 90 years old and is still going strong. He was inducted into the Madison County Military Hall of Heroes in 1994. And Mr. Locklear, thank you, sir, for being with us today and taking time to be with us. We appreciate your time with us. Looking forward to doing this interview. May I call you Henry?
Henry.
Yeah, Henry or Hank, right?
Hank.
Now, Hank, you were raised, I think, in North Carolina. Tell us a little about your childhood.
An old farm boy.
I see.
And, my father owned a farm, and we had about 200 and some acres.
Raised tobacco? Or
tobacco, corn, cotton. And
you probably had to plow with a mule or something like that back in those days.
You got that right. Yeah.
So you knew all about hard work, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. You better believe it.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
But we plowed. We had 2 horses and 2 mules.
Yeah.
So you can, that back in them days,
You learned how to drive all of them, right?
You better believe it.
Did you have brothers and sisters that helped on the farm?
Oh, yeah. There's 5 of us.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I see.
There's 3 boys and 2 girls.
Now you joined the Navy at 17, I believe. And now, did you tell me a little earlier you didn't tell the truth about your age? Is that right? Tell us a little about that now.
Well,
you really?
Yeah, I lied. I tried to be honest with you. I lied to get in because back in them days, everybody wanted to, young,
Yeah.
You wanted to get see some action.
Right. Sure. Yeah.
And
you're that age and hearing all about this war going on at that time. And you want to be a part of it.
You wanted to get in there.
Yes, sir. Well, how come you choose the Navy? You went into the Underwater Demolition Team. What got you focused in that area?
Well, what happened out in the country? You could. They always got the creeks and streams. And we always go swimming out in the rivers. So I wanted to. I could always swim.
You're a good swimmer. Yeah.
Yeah. That come natural. The swim.
Well, to do that sort of thing, you had to be a good swimmer, didn't you?
Oh, you better believe it, because once you just telling you, about when you're 12 years old, you was a pretty good swimmer.
I understand. Yeah.
And
now tell us a little about, you went to, I think, a Pensacola area. Is that right, where you went through some of your underwater demolition training? Tell us a little about that training.
Fort Pierce, Florida.
Okay, Fort Pierce. Okay.
Yeah, Fort Pierce.
I see.
And we Fort Pierce. You had North Island and South Island. We took our training in on North Island, and we lived on South Island.
I see.
There's 2 islands down there, and so we on our training. Every morning, we'd go across the bridge to the island and swimming from one island to the next.
Boy,
that was a routine.
You had to be in really good shape, or you were getting in shape.
I was in Team 12, President Roosevelt's team.
I see. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And
did you volunteer for this underwater demolition team, or did the Navy pick you out to do that,
well,
Henry?
when I took my basic training at Bainbridge,
Uh-huh.
I was from the South, and up then it was cold, but up there was, and I wanted to go south. I didn't care what it was. Just get me.
You wanted warmer weather, didn't you?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And so anyway, I on that changed my mind about. I didn't care what I got into as long as I was headed south. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah, and you knew you were a good swimmer, so you could probably do something related to that. Yeah.
Sure. I could take the water.
Yeah. How long was your training? Was it 6 weeks, 8 weeks, or how long did you train?
Let's see.
I think it was several weeks, I believe you said.
That it was.
Yeah.
About 10 weeks. You're talking about getting us ready for UDT?
Yeah, the demolition team, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
About 10 weeks.
Now, you learned about demolitions, explosives, and how to map out different, like the ocean, that portion that you'd be covering or whatever. You learned all of that kind of stuff, right?
Oh, yeah.
In the classroom, yeah.
Well, we learned how to use a C4.
Okay.
And TNT. We never did use dynamite. That was out.
Now, when you got out of training, you went directly to Iwo Jima, was that right? Or did you go somewhere else before you went to Iwo Jima?
When I got out of training at Fort Pierce, we went down to, went to the West Coast and getting ready to go and
probably did some further training over there, I guess, didn't you?
Yeah. We had to take more training, and then after we got to Hawaii, Maui, and that's where they had the Hawaii and islands. We took training there.
I see. Did you know that you were going to Iwo Jima, or was it they didn't tell you anything and say you're going somewhere, but we're not going to tell you where we're going?
You did not know.
Right. Yeah. You didn't need to know at that time, did
you? But no, we didn't know it was going to Iwo.
Yeah.
But anyway, we went into after we took training at Maui. And we took training there, and then we went in through the Philippines and landed at Iwo. And
well, tell us about your first now. See if I can kind of lead you along here, Hank. You were with your friend. I think his name was Small. Is that right?
Small, yeah.
And you always went in pairs, didn't you?
Yeah.
And now what did they sent you out? Sent you and Mr. Small out, and what were you supposed to do? Or you were swimming to shore?
We went out when we went into the beach. We had to find out the obstacles was in there that knock out. We knew what kind of landing craft the Marines would be using.
The depth of the water, things like that. Yeah,
that's right.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. We'd have
you had a little clipboard, something on your leg, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. That was our board. That board that we'd, it was up here. And like a plastic board,
Oh, I see. And it wouldn't wash away under the water.
That's right.
Yeah.
And it was where we could ride underwater.
I see. Now, Small was injured. He was wounded.
Yeah.
You had to take him back out to the ship, right?
Yeah, that was probably one. You took care of your swimming buddy, and so we took him. I took Small back, and the boat picked him up.
He was wounded, and I think you said the shoulder or somewhere.
Yeah. And you had to keep going. The Japs were upon at us all the time. Mm-hmm. They knew what we were doing.
Trying to pinpoint you, weren't they?
Yeah. The Japs were
they were shooting at you.
They dropping them in. Mm-hmm. And we got, after we went, I want to be correct on this.
But you got him back to the ship, right?
I got my man back.
Now, your officer, what did he say? You got to go back? Or you said, hey, I haven't completed my job. I got to go back and finish.
There was no officer there.
Okay. But you had to go back and finish the job, right?
But I believe it.
Yeah.
So what I did, after got Small back, I went back in. Mm-hmm. The job wasn't completed.
Yes, sir.
They had to have this information where we knew what kind of boats that they were going to use for landing craft.
Yes, sir.
Well, you had PLs, LCMs, LSTs, but we had LCMs and LVPs, small landing craft. The Marines are going to come in, be dropping the Marines off the next day.
Yes, sir.
Right now, what they had, we had the 18th was D-Day, and we went. Let me get this thing straight now. We went in, but went in the 18th, and the Marines is going to land at Iwo the 19th.
Yeah, this is March of 1945.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
And you put up the date.
Well, I studied a little bit here. Yeah.
And so anyway, so we went in, got all this information where the Marines could go in. Like I said, they landed in the 18th.
19th, I think.
I mean the 19th.
Yes, sir.
We landed the 18th.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, get my numbers right. And
I want to find out exactly what type boats you needed to go in there, because some of the boats are different depths, And,
we landed on PLs, fast landing craft.
I see. Is that kind of like one of those rubber boats with a?
No, there's a drop of us off that down. There's rubber boats. The one that you're thinking about is we use those boats, but on days if we were going to make a night attack, we would use those rubber rafts.
Yes, sir.
And go in at night, make like the Marine Raiders.
I see. Yeah. Now you went back and did your work. Studied up what depth, and major markings on your board and everything.
Yeah.
So you swam back out to the boat, but it wasn't there. Is that right? I mean.
Yeah. I know what you're. You studied up on some of this stuff, haven't you?
Well, I studied up a little bit enough to know that you went through a heck of a lot of action there. But the boat, it thought you'd had been killed or wounded, and they just had to leave.
I stayed on that beach for about 2 hours and a half by myself, and by myself. And they're firing over my head. The Americans, cruisers and destroyers were running parallel with the beach, are firing over my head. The Japanese was firing at me, and I was caught in the center.
What did you have? Did you have like a cave or something to hide in, or how were you?
No, I had nothing. I was the only man in there. That's right. I was the only one in there.
And you stayed on that, you had to stay overnight on the beach?
About 2.5 to 3 hours I stayed on that beach. I had to get the information.
Right.
I had to get it where it'd be go back to where they could complete their
mission assignments and that sort of thing.
Their
yes,
assignment. Because once they got that, then I'm trying to get all these figures together as much as I can.
I understand.
And what they did, we got. I'm trying to put all this stuff together as best I can. And Small, he had got hit. And after I had got him safe back, I went back.
Spent about 3 hours on the beach, and then
yeah.
How did you see a flares or something out there to say, okay, that's my boat, I need to swim back out to it? Or how did you know when to go back out in the water and be picked up?
There's nobody out there that tell you this, because the Japanese had zeroed in on us. And so I got in there and I got on my plate was on my leg. I wrote my information down, how and the kind of boats that beaches support.
Right. What kind of boats they needed to use? To bring the troops in.
That's right.
Yes.
You got that right.
Yeah.
And so anyway, we on that boat. On the. Let me get this straight, because I want to be straight about it.
Well, on your tablet, you were talking about your tablet now?
On I had all that info in there, because we had to turn this into operations where they could complete the landing plans, for the troops to the state. That was the 18th.
Yeah. Now, after you were on the beach for like 3 hours, how did you know when to go back? Do you have some kind of, did you know the ship was out, or just took a chance that the ship would be out there to pick you up after you had completed your assignment?
We could see the ship down there.
I see.
They were out there, and the cruisers, destroyers, they were out there, and we could look at them out there, and said. There's a running parallel with the
beach.
The beach.
Yes, sir.
And
but you've made it back out there, right?
You got dang right, man. I'll tell you.
How long did it take you? I guess a pretty good while. I mean, the boats weren't just close to the shore. They were pretty good ways out there, as you mentioned. How long did it take you? Do you remember how long it took you to get back out to the ship?
After we
you completed your assignment, yeah.
No, it didn't take too long to get back out there, because I get everything was confused. It wasn't confused. You knew that they had to get this information. And get the information where
they could take care of the troops. They're going to be landing the next day there. Yes, sir.
That's right.
Yeah.
That was the 18th, and the 19th was when the Marines come in.
Yes, sir.
19th.
Now, you were the only one on shore at that time, or you said that there was, like the Japanese were shooting at our ships, and our ships were shooting at the Japanese.
Yeah.
How many other underwater demolition team members were they scattered out along the beach area?
How the heck got blown to hell?
I see. A lot of them, yeah.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
They annihilated them boys.
Yeah. Now, after this, of course, you received the Silver Star for your work at Iwo Jima. And after you went back and later on you were involved with the battle at Okinawa, is that correct?
Okinawa, yeah.
Yes, sir. Now, did you do basically the same thing? You go on the beach?
Okinawa with the Cramberettas is what they call them.
Okay.
And the same thing, basically the same thing, but Okinawa was a lot different. It had the other little small islands, attached to the main islands, know. And it was a lot different than Iwo.
Yeah, I see.
Iwo was island by stand out where we got lost a lot of dang people there.
Yeah, we lost a lot of Marines there. We sure did. Yes,
and talking about Okinawa. Okinawa was let's classify it as about second class island there, and we lost a lot of people there. We lost half our team.
Really?
Yeah. They slaughtered them boys.
You were with Underwater Demolition Team 12, is that correct?
Yeah, Team 12.
You said that President Roosevelt's
That was his team.
I see. Why did they call it his team?
I always thought about that myself.
Uh-huh. Must have performed or helped the president in some way at some point.
Yeah.
I see. Now, after Okinawa, Henry, the war is just about over. Of course, it ended, in August, after they dropped the atomic bomb of that year. What were you involved in any more action after Okinawa?
During World War II?
Yes, sir.
After Okinawa, no. I got after we Okinawa campaign. My next was that was finished up. I got hurt.
I see.
I stayed in the hospital.
Were you wounded or just injured on your job?
No, I got hurt. Hurt after I.
Were you doing some training?
No, I got hurt at the end of the war.
I see, yeah.
I stayed in the hospital 7 months.
Did you?
Yeah.
Really? Okay, yeah. Now, after the war ended, Henry, you got out of the Navy and went in the Army, is that right?
That's right.
What brought you to that decision?
I don't want no more underwater demolition.
You're tired of swimming, right?
Man, I had enough of that.
I see. What did you do? Did you have to go in as a private, or how was? Did you give you some rank when you went in?
I was a coxswain.
Okay, coxswain. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
I see. All right, now, but when you went in the Army, did they make you an immediate sergeant because of your prior service?
Give me any.
Excuse me.
When I went in the Army, they give me 2 stripes, a corporal.
Okay, yeah. For your prior service.
Yeah, right. They give me corporal, and that was a same rank as a coxswain.
Yeah, I see.
Old coxswain in the Navy.
Yes, sir.
And
so did you get out of the Navy one day and join the Army the next day, or did you go home for a while, or why?
Yeah. I went home. And Pa he told me I had been on vacation. you ain't gonna believe it.
Wow.
He says, "You guys come home now. You can go to work." I was coming up with a pretty good sized farm. We had
raised tobacco and corn. I think you mentioned
tobacco
that.
and corn and cotton and all that.
How long did you stay out of the Navy before you went in the Army?
Well,
a month or so, or?
About I got out. No, I went and finished the 11th grade. Then was high school.
Yes, sir.
Back in them days, and I took a little to this school. I finished. I finished the 11th grade, but they had advanced it to 12th grade when I got outside. I took, they're giving us $100 a month.
I see.
$100 a month
I
to
see.
go in the time.
Yes,
But
sir.
anyway, we got that. I drove that for about a year and a heck.
You got tired of working on the farm again, I guess. Yeah, because
Yeah.
your dad worked you pretty hard, didn't he?
Pa said we had been on vacation.
I wouldn't call that. I hate to dispute your father, but that was. But anyway, so you went in the Army, and what did you do in the Army when you first went in? What kind of work?
Went down to and Fort Jackson and trained down there for about, I'd say about 9 months.
Yeah. You trained as an infantryman or what?
Infantryman, yeah.
I see. Yes, sir. Okay.
Yeah.
Now you were in the Army, and you were also in Korea. You went to Korea. Were you on the front lines in Korea as well?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
When did you go there? Was that, let's say, 1951, something like that?
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah. Okay. How long were you in Korea? Do you recall?
I was in Korea about a year.
I see.
Yeah.
And then when you left Korea,
Third Infantry Division.
yes, sir. What? I'm sorry.
Third Infantry Division.
Third Infantry Division. Okay.
Third Infantry Division. Yeah.
And pardon me. So you go after Korea. You go for a few years, and were you in the early part of Vietnam, or did you go to when did you get involved with the Vietnam War?
I went to a military intelligence, Fort Leavenworth, and so I worked with them. You've been up, you know about Fort Leavenworth.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Leavenworth, Kansas. Yes, sir.
And so anyway.
You got started in that, got involved in intelligence work?
Military intelligence, yeah.
When did you first go to Vietnam?
I went to Vietnam in 60.
Early 60s, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, 68, I think it was.
Yes,
I
sir.
believe it was. 68.
Where were you at? Do you recall where you were at, stationed at in Vietnam? What areas?
Well, I was
Working intelligence.
I was working with military intelligence. And, dang, man.
It's been a long time, I understand. Take your time.
I'm trying to make everything correct
Yes, sir.
as much as that.
Yeah.
And
Do you recall how many tours did you do in Vietnam? Or did you just do one tour or possibly two tours?
I did one tour.
Yes,
I did 11 months.
Yeah. Now, when did you get out of the service, Hank?
I got out in
Late 60s?
yeah,
I see.
late 60s.
Yeah. So I guess you served, what, 28 years, something like that? If you went
26 years.
Yeah, that's right. You went in 1945. Yes,
Yeah.
sir. I see. 26 years.
Counting on back time, about 26 years.
Yeah. All right. Now, after service, how did you settle in Huntsville, in this area? How did you got tired of working on that tobacco farm, I guess? But how did you settle in the Huntsville area?
Well, I married a girl down here,
Yes, sir.
and the best thing married my wife here, and got tied down.
You were stationed at Redstone. Yes, sir. What did you do there? Well, you were still involved with intelligent work? Did you do that sort of thing after the service? Okay.
Yeah, I was still tied in there.
I see.
And that was the best thing I ever did, is when I got married down here, and to get away from that. See, I came off of a big farm up in North Carolina.
Right.
500 acres.
Yeah. That your dad said you'd been on vacation when you were at
That's right, and he had it waiting for us.
I see. Yes, sir. Henry, a lot of our young people view these interviews and look at these interviews. Tell us about how would you describe being serving in a war zone and thoughts you have of possibly being killed or wounded during battle. I mean, every person that serves in the combat zone has to think about these sort of things. Tell us your thoughts on that.
I know what you're talking about.
Is it okay to be afraid and scared, Henry? Or because
a man says I believe what's got me here today is the Creator.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm a God-fearing man.
Mm-hmm.
And
you're thankful to be here today, I'm sure. Yes,
my God.
Because you saw so many lose their lives, especially around Iwo Jima.
Iwo Jima made a believe out of me.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to be honest with you, it made a believe out of me.
Lost a lot of men there, didn't you? I mean,
God Almighty. Men,
that were your close friends, I'm sure.
People don't know it.
Yeah.
I saw them boys lined up at Evo. And I'd walk down, checking the dog tags.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they had been doing. Checking the dog tags. And some of the guys had shot all kind of damn ways. And you'll never believe it.
Yes, sir.
That's cold-blooded murder.
That was part of your job after on the beach to go in to help to.
After the invasion, we'd go back in to help them out.
Mm-hmm. I see.
Checking the people, the dead,
receiving the dog tags. Yeah.
Dog tags, checking them out, helping them out. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Uh-huh.
They give us that job to do.
I see.
And
I'm sure you had to identify some of the people that you served with.
Yeah,
On your UT Team 12 or some of the other demolition teams.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Uh-huh.
That's right. You're right.
Henry, how do you feel when people call you a hero for what you have done in the war? How do you feel about that?
Well, they're all heroes. They're all heroes. I could tell you some things that you wouldn't believe, but that's the way it is.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah, all them boys is heroes.
Well, you saw the same thing basically in 3 wars, so you have seen a lot in your lifetime. Yes, sir.
That's
you sure
right.
have.
That's right.
Is some of the guys still around that you served with? Did you still stay in contact with them?
John H. Painter,
yeah.
Prudy out,
Some of the old guys still around.
Yeah. But my old Southern buddy, old Red Horn from Georgia, and yeah.
Good. That's good.
Yeah, we're pretty close to these boys down here.
Yes, sir. Uh-huh. What kind of work did you do after you retired from the Army? And I know you worked in intelligence some at Redstone. Is that what you worked in? You work at the Arsenal after that for a civilian contractor or that sort of thing? Yes, sir.
Yeah. I worked at I got a job out at the depot, and
you retired from out there, I assume.
Yeah.
You worked out there a long time. Yes, sir.
They give me the kind of job that I wanted out in the area.
Yeah.
I worked it out in outside. I didn't want to stay in no damn building. I wanted to get out there.
You wanted to. You probably didn't want to do too much swimming or working on a tobacco farm at that time, did you?
No,
sir.
I got away from that, man. I got away from that.
Yeah. Henry, let me ask you, what advice would you give to, say, a young person that is considering a career in the military? What advice would you give to someone that is thinking about doing that?
There ain't nothing like the military. Military takes care of its own.
Mm-hmm. It's not meant for everybody, but if you really think that you want to be a part of something like that, I guess it would be okay, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, for a lot of people. Because we need people, of course.
That's right.
To volunteer and serve in the military.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Henry, is there anything else that you'd like to bring up during, we've tried to cover most everything. I wanted to make sure that there's anything else that you'd like to say before we conclude our interview?
Well, I'll tell you
you've
what.
done outstanding, by the way.
Yeah?
Yeah. You've, I hope I'm as spry as you are and alert as you are when I'm 90 years old,
Well, I'll tell you what. I lost my wife, about 2 years ago. And
yes, sir.
Everything I had.
Mm-hmm.
So.
But you still have family, and they try to help you out as much as they can, I'm sure.
Yeah. I got I lost, like I told you, I said, I lost everything I had when I lost her.
Yes, sir.
And
how long were you married? Do you remember?
Quite
a few years, I'm sure.
Yeah. About 40 years.
Yes, sir. Well,
about 40, to be exact, 42 years.
Yes, sir.
42.
Henry, before we conclude the interview, anything else you'd like to say or bring up that maybe I've overlooked or didn't bring up that you would like to say something about?
No, that's about it. And
well, I want to thank you, Henry. Thank you, sir. I want to shake your hand for participating in our oral history interview series and allowing us to preserve your military experience for the people of this community. I really mean that. And thank you, sir, for your service to our country. We really, really appreciate that. Good seeing you, sir. Thank you for the interview. Yes, sir. If you'd like more information regarding this interview or any interview in our Military Heritage Series, please contact the Madison County Military Heritage Commission website at mcmhc.org. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Tom Kennemer.